Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, Monokuma summoned everybody to the gymnasium one night to give us a fourth motive for murder. A hidden one, but a motive all the same, once Makoto stopped to think about it after everything finished transpiring. And that was outing the identity of his now ex-spy to the surviving members of our group. And, well, it was Sakura. Sakura was the mastermind spy. And the reason Monokuma did this, well, he was none too happy with Sakura basically deciding to rebel against him, so revenge. Pure, simple revenge. And clearly hoping here that now that everybody knows what Sakura was all about, along with revealing that her initial role in all this was to start the killing game herself by killing somebody, that, well, somebody will come along and kill Sakura. I mean, that's undoubtedly what Monokuma's hoping for. Because, to me, it really wouldn't make any sense for us to kill somebody else instead here. Since Monokuma pretty much set things up here to have Sakura as our enemy, this time around, for our fourth round of killings. And, well, predictably, with the exceptions of Makoto and Hina, pretty much everybody is now suspicious as all hell around Sakura now, and Byakuya and Toko in particular are just doing everything they can here to keep their distance from her. And, well, Hina in particular is not taking everybody's now cold attitude towards Sakura very well at all. So, yeah, that pretty much is happening now, and tensions are gradually escalating. And I'm pretty sure everybody can predict where things are going to go from here. And in other news, I basically socialized a bit with Hiro, and, well, I tried doing it with Hina, but, well, after Monokuma outed Sakura as a spy, she really wasn't in much of a cheery mood no matter what I did with her, so I ultimately decided to spend at least one session of free time with Hiro, and, well, he's made a very interesting prediction for me, to me. And, well, I now apparently owe him a shit ton of money for that prediction. So yeah, that happened too. And I think that covers everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and head to the dining hall. Oh boy. Someone's already screaming. Huh? Was that someone screaming? I think it came from the dining hall. Okay, there we go. For some reason I couldn't move. Oh, it's just you. I thought it was somebody important. Ah, Makoto! We got a big problem, man! What's wrong? Look! Hira's finger shook as he pointed.
Hina!
Hina? Oh boy, you look injured.
Are you okay? What happened?
She killed her.
Hiro, get your vision examined. She's still breathing.
Genocide Jill killed Hina!
You gotta be kidding!
No. She's not dead. Open your eyes. No way she's dead. Why? What happened? Well, Toko and Hina, just all of a sudden, they were yelling, and then they knocked the pepper off the table. And Toko sneezed, and, well, now we got Jill. And that led to a sneeze.
You SOB!
Her giant balloons are a little too perfect, aren't they? I might be flat, but at least mine are real. Real flat, maybe. And look at my shapely collarbone. Doesn't it just totally set you on fire?
Totally not adorable.
Anyway, you totally non-adorable boys just get her out of my sight, okay? Or else
My beautiful scissors!
I'll start cutting. And cutting and cutting and indulging myself for who knows how long. Aw, but Hina doesn't really fit into your usual target. You wouldn't really find that enjoyable, I would imagine. Okay, then. Let's get Hina to the nurse's office. Come on, Hero. Help me! Sure thing. Wee-oo! Wee-oo! Jill is such a fucking riot. Just like Jack's abrasive laugh chased us out of the room as we carried Hina away. By the time I finished taking care of Hina's injury in the nurse's office, you know first aid, she seemed to have finally regained her composure.
Sorry.
Then again, I guess anybody could do basic first aid if they just followed a little instruction booklet. So, never mind, Makoto. I thought you had another unique trait to yourself that I could credit to you. Sorry, but you're still mostly just a plain saltless saltine cracker. Thank you. Are you sure you're feeling better? Yeah. It really was just a scratch. But still, that was super close. If I hadn't yelled out, you'd be dead right now. It's all thanks to me, you know. Yes, well, 1,000 thanks to you, sir. So sarcastic. That just makes you sound even more hostile. Yeah, no shit, Hero. Well, while I'm in here, I guess I could look for a few coins. Refrigerator. Yeah, I still haven't really taken the time to just go look around on my own off-camera for any coins. Which I think I'm going to consider doing whenever I can here to help save time. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here. Oh well. But man, I couldn't believe it. I was positive I was about to see someone's life come to an end. You make it sound like as though that's never happened before. If I ever saw someone like that, I'd never be able to sleep again. Which would suck. I love sleep. So you're telling me then that ever since our first class trial ended, you've been going without sleep. No wonder you're so emotional. Yeah, never mind the person who actually died, right? Hey, Hina. What the heck happened? I think we already got an adequate explanation what happened. They argued, Pepper landed where it shouldn't, Toko sneezed, and well, a wild Jill appeared. Oh, we just got into a fight, and I lost my temper and flew off the handle. Let me guess. The fight was because of Sakura.
But...
At first, I tried to just ignore it. If you let jerk buttholes get to you all the time, you'll never have time left to live your life. But she wouldn't let it go. So I just...
What the heck?
Without thinking about it, I wanted to punch her like a dozen times!
You're serious?
A dozen punches isn't really without thinking. When things got out of hand, Genocide Jack got loose. Right?
Sorry.
It's my own fault. But I just couldn't take it anymore. Because she was saying all these terrible things about my friend, you know? Well, what did she say? Before I knew it, Hina's eyes started welling up with tears. And just as the tears were on the brink of spilling over, the door to the nurse's office burst open. I thought the door was going to fly off its hinges. And there she stood before us.
Hina.
Hey, Sakura. Hina. Sakura. You're hurt. What happened?
Huh?
She got scissored. Oh, nothing. It's not a big deal.
Hey!
Makoto! Hero! What's the meaning of this? It wasn't me! It was Genocide Jill! It's all that demented murderous fiend's fault! hurt Hina. Damn you! Well, it was nice knowing you, Jill. Toko. To leave me alone, but hurt her. What is this?
How dare you!
What is this? Yeah! I'm okay, really. It's just a scratch.
No forgiveness!
Unforgivable.
I can't forgive this!
I can't forgive them! What the hell are you panicking about? It's not like she's gonna go after you, dumbass. Hero. If you want to hate someone, hate me. If you want to hurt someone, hurt me! Could he really hurt you, though, honestly? I don't think he could. With his bare hands, anyway. I don't hate you, exactly.
I can't forgive this!
Why? I'm sorry, that didn't put the wrong... I put the wrong emotion behind it. That sounded more exasperated than angry. Somebody save me! Hiro nearly tripped over himself as he ran screaming out of the nurse's office. But just a second later... What's going on?
Hey.
What's all this noise about? Loose Pepper made a wild Jill appeared, and Hina got scissored as a result. That's what happened. Kyoko stood in the doorway of the nurse's office, taking Hiro's spot in the room.
It would seem...
I gather that something happened. Kyoko! Please, you have to stop Sakura!
Wait.
You don't need to stop me. I'm okay. I'm not going to do anything. I'm drawing a line. Right here and now. Drawing a line? Goodbye. Wait! Sakura! Hina sprang into action, leaving the nurse's office to chase after Sakura. The only ones left were you and the one person that you stupidly pissed off. So, Makoto, are you finally going to take this very convenient opportunity here to actually apologize now for breaking poor Kyoko's trust? Kyoko? Well, at least she's not glaring at us. Are you still mad? Yeah, I figured.
That's fine.
It's fine. Huh?
Whew.
About that issue we discussed earlier. It doesn't matter anymore. Then, do you forgive me for not being able to talk about it?
In other words...
You could have told me about Sakura and Monokuma fighting, but you stayed quiet. You were only thinking of Sakura, and that's why you didn't tell me, right? You didn't want to confuse everyone until you could talk to her and be sure of what you saw. Yeah, that's essentially it. Still think it was a dumb reason to stay quiet, but I mean, well, it's his reason. That's what you were thinking, and that's why you didn't tell me. Right? Yeah. To think like that.
I wouldn't have expected such arrogance from you.
Well, at least someone's calling you out on your arrogance, Mr. Cracker. What? Because ultimately, that means you don't trust me. No, that's not it. Yes, that was it. What else could it have been? Be honest with yourself. And her. But if that's how you feel, I can't really change your mind. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's fine. I've already forgotten about it. I think you mean you've already forgiven him for it? Besides...
And
I may have overreacted. I think this is the first time we saw some pink in your cheeks. Huh?
Anyway,
Anyway, it's over and done with. Like I said, let's just forget about it. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you. Well, there you go. We got this. We finally put all this water under the bridge and we can move on with our lives. I bet you're feeling like a massive weight off your shoulders has just been lifted. Should have done it a lot sooner, though, dumbass. It's okay, though, Makoto. I still like you. I want to talk to you about something else. So, what do you want to talk to me about now? What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
indeed.
Actually, I'd like you to come somewhere with me. I have business there. Where?
So,
Just come with me and you'll find out. I guess, but...
shall we go?
Well then, shall we get going? I didn't properly say yes. With her typical indifference, Kyoko turned and walked away, setting a brisk pace. Ah! Kyoko! I hurried to catch up to her. She walked ahead in silence. And in silence I chased her. And eventually, we arrived. Oh, you want to take a bath with Mr. Cracker? The dressing room. So there's something you mentioned.
Indeed.
That's right. It has to do with alter ego. But you said we didn't need alter ego anymore.
Wrong.
I didn't say we didn't need him. I just said he had done his job. Besides, it's not us that needs alter ego. He has business with us. Huh?
Right.
Alter ego asked me to bring the others to come see him. Apparently he has something he wants to ask us. Well, if he wants to know how to make homemade ice cream from scratch, I can tell him how to do that. I can tell him how to do that. And don't ask me why I thought of that, why I just thought of homemade ice cream, because I honestly can't tell you. Alter ego wants to ask us something?
Correct.
Alter ego asked me to bring the others to come see him. Apparently he wants something to ask us. Okay, I'll just look around here real fast. I could really stand to take a bath, but I don't think that's a good idea right now. Besides, Kyoko would glare at you for even making the attempt. The massage chair looks pretty old. I don't know, it looks pretty brand spanking new to me. God, it's been such a damn long time since I sat in one of those things. When was the last time I sat in a massage chair? Laptop isn't in here anymore, now it's sitting on the chair. It's a bench, you dolt. Hello. Oh, so it's just the two of you? Kyoko and Makoto? You're also forgetting the Cracker's manager, i.e. me. Kyoko's fingers glided across the keyboard. Is two not enough?
Thank you.
No, it's okay. Two should be plenty. What is it he wants to ask us?
Indeed.
Let's find out, shall we? Kyoko typed in the question. What did you want to ask us?
So,
Oh yeah, so... I'd like you to take me somewhere where you can connect me to the school network.
What?
What? Well, that's risky. I mean, you gotta be careful of the mastermind, yo. Kyoko and I glanced at each other. She replied. Why?
you see,
Well, you said my job was done, right? But to just stop here, saying I finished my work.
but
I don't want that.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here.
That's right.
That's what Master would want too. So, help everyone else. To solve the mystery of this school.
That's right.
The only way I can help is if you connect me to this school's network. But if you did that, it's basically suicide. I'm positive the mastermind would find out about it. They'd find you, and they'd... You'd agree, right, Kyoko? You're a brave little set of ones and zeros, alter ego, I'll give you that. You got big balls.
So,
I realize how dangerous it could be. But still, I have to do this.
but
I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but
still,
when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So, it's okay. Inhuman or not, you have consciousness, you have self-awareness, just like the rest of us. You have emotions, and you clearly want to help us just for, well, altruism's sake, frankly. And well, I find that commendable, no matter whether the source is human or not.
I'm gonna do my best.
If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. I couldn't help but get lost in that voice. It was just too committed. Too admirable. Too fragile.
Hey,
You remember what you asked before, Makoto. You asked what the difference is between a person and a program, right? One's made of ones and zeros and computer components. The other is made of flesh and neurons. Yeah.
certainly.
When I talk to Alter Ego, I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question. I think maybe that's a question even the program's creator can't answer. But I can say this.
Correct.
There's no question that Alter Ego is our friend. Kyoko, to be honest, I didn't want Alter Ego to push himself anymore. Because if we take any more risks, the mastermind really will notice it. But
Makoto.
let's do it, Makoto. Let's connect Alter Ego to the network. But
Hey,
he's our friend, so I want to take his feelings into consideration. And he says he wants to fight alongside his friends.
now,
If you were in his place, could you just sit by and do nothing in this situation? If you saw everyone else fighting and doing their best, could you just look the other way? Or would you stand up? Stand up tall next to everyone else and tell them you're their friend. Well, maybe not friend per se in my case, but ally definitely. Because ultimately, if you stop and think about it, in a situation like this, the only allies we really have is each other. But only if we allow ourselves to be.
So,
Hey, are you guys fighting? No, we're just discussing what to get from the grocery store. It's all good. If it's about me, please don't.
I want to believe in myself.
I want to be able to say, I know I can do this.
Leave it to me.
So please, let me try.
listen.
And besides, there's one place where the mastermind might not notice. That secret room, right? One place.
That's right.
Remember? There's another place besides here where there's no surveillance camera. A room without a surveillance camera. The secret room. That's it! The secret room you told me about. I definitely remember there was no surveillance camera in there.
Indeed.
And I do believe you can connect to the network from there. I remember seeing an Ethernet port on the wall. How convenient. However, just because there's no camera there doesn't mean there's no danger. Yeah, we've pretty much already witnessed that fact firsthand. Well, not directly witnessed, but, well, Makoto got a bump on his head from that last excursion. Thanks to you, Kyoko. I'm still a bit salty about that. There's no way to be sure the mastermind isn't monitoring the network somehow. We'll also have to move Alter Ego, and the mastermind may spot us going to the secret room. So I gotta distract the mastermind. Okay? Get me to the nearest camera and I'll start doing some dance moves. If they pick up on any of this, then it's all over. You're right.
That's what we have to do.
But despite all that, I still think we need to try. I'll also insult our headmaster while doing my dancing moves.
Correct.
Besides, that's our best chance of finding any new clues. Because, excuse me, I don't know how I read besides. Kyoko. In that case, will you let me carry him? There's no way you could hide him with what you're wearing, right? So let me do it.
It's true.
Okay then, I'll leave it to you. Thank you. Well, I can't dance and make sure to have a firm grip on Alter Ego at the same time, so Kyoko, you do the dancing.
So then...
Then let's get started. It's gonna be a little cramped for you, Alter Ego. Bear with us, okay? We started packing him up right away. I closed the laptop and stuffed it underneath my jacket. It tickles. How? Is there some special, nerve simulating cluster things on the laptop service or some weird technology like that I should be made aware of? Because last I checked, we don't have any kind of technology like that at all. But then again, what the fuck do I know? I'm no expert on robotics. Shh! You can't talk right now. We're going to move you to another room. Until we get you there, you have to be absolutely silent, okay? Understood. Your command has been implemented. Good. To have him react like a machine like that all of a sudden. I didn't know how to react.
Makoto.
In the secret room, there are a bunch of different cables in one of the desk drawers. So there might be a network cable in there.
However...
Assuming the mastermind hasn't taken it already. Then maybe it would be a good idea to... No, wait, actually on second thought, running reconnaissance might be a bad idea, because if the mastermind notices you guys going back and forth between that one bathroom multiple times, that'll most certainly raise some suspicion. Guess you're just gonna have to risk it. Well, all we can do is go and check for ourselves.
It's true.
Agreed. Let's head to the secret room. Together, you and I, going into the same bathroom. That would definitely arouse the mastermind's suspicions. I think you should just let me go it alone, as risky as that will be. Okay, so we got Hiro and Toko out here. What? Makoto! What the? Why do you seem so surprised? Nothing's wrong. Why would anything be wrong? He's acting really strange. Well, I guess he's always acting really strange. Okay, well, gonna go back to my room now. Take her easy, partner. See ya. What are you up to, Porcupine Head? Should I be worried? Hey, Jill. I was expecting to run into Toko. That is a very strange Pokemon sound you just made. My obsession!
At certain age.
What are you doing? Living! I see. Anyway, I'm heading back to my room. I'll just be there, living, totally calm. I don't think calm exists anywhere in your vocabulary, Jill. And maybe not Toko's either, for that matter. Like I said, you're a fucking riot. Shame that you're a serial killer. Anybody else up here? No. I see nobody.
Hey,
Hey, Makoto.
why?
Are you sure all the documents are gone? I refuse to believe you. Go and check again. Fuck you! I'll go check the documents whenever I damn well please. But if this is the only way I can get you off my back, then fine, madam. I will go and check. What?
Listen to me.
Just hurry up and go. Make sure you don't run off. I'm gonna wait right here. Oh, I get it. She's acting. Wow, you're surprisingly quick on the uptake this time. She was so forceful. I thought I'd made her mad again somehow.
Just a second.
Why are you just standing there? Hurry up and go. Okay, I'm going.
So then,
And be thorough. I'm counting on you. At least you're gonna stand guard this time, which I honestly appreciate. So better hope there's nobody there waiting for me. Nope, nobody's here waiting for me. Just me and the cold, empty abyss within my soul. Okay, first we have to find a network cable. Let's look here, at this lovely chair. According to Kyoko, there should be a bunch of cables in this drawer. Yep, that'd be an Ethernet cable. I found it. This is a network cable, right? Now we just have to connect Alter Ego. I immediately got to work. I pulled out the laptop and connected it to the Ethernet port with the cable. And that should do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it worked.
Leave it to me.
Just leave the rest to me. I swear I'll find something. I might even be able to connect to the outside world. If I can, I'll see if I can call for help. So please just wait a little while longer.
I'm
Just
gonna
hold
do my best.
Just hold tight and put your faith in me. As I was about to leave, I decided to leave him with one last thing. No matter what, we're gonna get out of here. You and all the rest of us, as friends. Friends? Even me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Makoto.
Makoto.
How'd it go? I found jack shit, you bitch! What were you expecting? Thank you for wasting my valuable time. Well, it went okay, but all the documents were gone, just like I told you. My reply was an unintentional mix of acting and real feelings. Get your act together, Makoto!
Correct.
I see. Then there's nothing left for us here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to you! Before I knew it, Kyoko was walking away. She wasn't acting anymore, that much was for sure. Really? For all I know, it could have very well been an act. Ah, Kyoko!
What?
Yes? So we're just gonna split up.
Why is that?
Of course. I have no reason to stay with you at this point. Well, maybe, but isn't that a little too direct? Should I hesitate and fumble for something to say? You're so high maintenance. I am a delicate human being! High maintenance should be expected in order for me to perform at high efficiency. You care about me performing at high efficiency, don't you? That's not what I meant. I just had more I wanted to talk to you about. Like, what are you going to do about Sakura?
It's true.
Well, something has to be done, it's true.
However...
With the way things are right now, there's no way to persuade anyone. They don't have the mind to listen. Then what should we...
So...
If we can find some new clue, that would likely change the situation. That's all we can hope for right now. Which is why alter ego.
Correct.
All we can do is wait and believe in our friends. You're right. That's our only option. Unfortunately. We parted ways, and I head back to my room. I'm kinda tired. So I laid down in bed. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving alter ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. So before long at all, I completely dozed off. God damn it, I'm just trying to fucking sleep! How rude. Huh? The sharp sound of the doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world. It is still in the middle of the fucking day. Some of us are trying to sleep. Makoto, get out here. And here I was expecting Hiro for some reason. Kyoko, what's going on?
Indeed.
Hina just came to see me, and she was white as a ghost. It sounds like something's happened. I think we can kind of guess what that something is. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. I suddenly found myself wide awake. She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry. Okay, what's going on? Makoto! Kyoko! Hina, what's wrong? Something's not right. In the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door, and I hurried to look inside. And when I did... Sakura! Is she... unconscious? She's sitting up in the chair, like she's bowing her head.
Hey.
What's going on? Something happened to her.
Huh?
I was just walking past, and I happened to notice her through the window. But I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking. I tried calling her name. She wouldn't respond.
Huh?
So what should we do? What are we gonna do?
Anyway...
First of all, we need to get into that room. But the door's locked, right? And if we break in, we'll be violating school regulations.
Listen to me.
We're going to force our way in. Okay, you're the boss. I just said...
Wrong.
The door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Huh? Then why?
It would seem...
It feels like the door is pressing up against something inside the room. Is it... the chair? Chair?
In other words...
Either way, this door isn't locked, which means as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then, there's no problem if we break in. That's what she's saying, dum-dum.
Indeed.
Let's smash the window. That should be the fastest way. Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Wait right there. Wait right here. Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? Is she okay? I mean, Sakura, so I'm sure. Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence. But that silence didn't last long. Here! I found a broom. In the classroom. Use it.
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto? Why do I have to do all your dirty work?
Please!
Come on. Please hurry. Okay. You two, stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung as hard as I could. Aimed directly at the window. All it took was one solid hit. The window shattered into 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my hand through the now opened window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. Chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just... I pushed on it with all my strength, and finally the knob turned. Sakura! I ran up to her as fast as I could. But the moment I laid my hand on her, she's dead. All I felt was cold death. I could feel only the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had abandoned Sakura's body. And then...
A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin!
Deadly Life, All-Star Apologies, Chapter 4.
Huh? Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Ina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And I... Why? Why did this have to happen? Why do you think, you dumbass? Think about what's happened in the past couple days, ever since she was outed as a spy. That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone.
What?
Wah! Ogre!
Yes, yes.
Oh! So she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered. And by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say?
Huh?
No. Whoever killed her. It's not just someone in this room. What do you mean, Hina?
It's your fault.
It was one of you. Hiro, Byakuya, Toko. One of you killed Sakura! What?
What?
You are accusing us before we've even begun the investigation. I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her!
I won't forgive you.
One of you did it. I know it. You know it.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Jeez. I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on!
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer.
It's the Monokuma file!
That's right! It's the next Monokuma file! And don't get mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna get ruined that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that, Hold on. There's something I want to ask you. Huh? It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura. And what would they have to gain by just admitting to that up front?
Say what?
Exactly. Uh-huh. Assuming that they actually did do it. Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then...
In other words...
Then I killed her. Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. That whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that! It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it wouldn't have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
Hey,
I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. Then we're truly fucked that we've lost Sakura now, huh? Son of a bitch. I mean, she violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her.
well done.
So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one. Oh yes, you do know who it was.
What is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie. Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. Because, I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one?
I won't forgive you.
I hate him! I hate this whole thing! Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? Okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here. Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay, then Hina is guard number 1. But we need one more. Kyoko, That's you.
What?
Me. You're always a thorn in my side. This time just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. Now, Kyoko, I would give him the middle finger. An order?
That's fine.
Fine. I'll stay behind. That is a very funky looking middle finger that you just displayed, Kyoko. In fact, I don't think it's a middle finger at all. I am disappointed. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko. None of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene.
Huh?
What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura! Well, how do you know it wasn't Mr. Cracker here? For all you know, maybe he's finally snapped.
I won't forgive you.
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Well, then we got two options, Four Eyes. We either just make do with not being able to investigate the crime scene. Well, you guys anyway. Or you take more drastic measures. Even if it means I have to use force. You're not getting in here! Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let us all in. Just let me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope, don't really care. I'd better spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. Okay, it's your life. Literally. And you, Hiro? Do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care? Have a spine!
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided!
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
correct.
For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine. I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally. Who would want to touch a filthy dead body? Keep at it, man. One of these days you're gonna say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and then they're just gonna gut you like a fish.
Listen,
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's a kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. Time to investigate. I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ugami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point, the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma file has been added. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head, and no other injuries are noted. Time of death is estimated noon. So, the victim at one point suffered a violent vomiting of blood. So, some kind of internal injury, maybe.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from inside the rec room. Locked room murders are always fun, wouldn't you say, Kyoko? Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside, and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words...
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. So, we gotta basically ask ourselves two fundamental questions. Number one, since this is a locked room murder, and that someone killed Sakura, where were they hiding or able to escape the room before we came in, without anybody noticing? And number two, following question one, if we can't find an answer to that, we gotta then ask ourselves, is there any other reason that Sakura could wind up dead inside a locked room like this? I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm alluding to. So, yeah, we gotta investigate and figure out just what is the exact nature behind this locked room of ours, and who was or wasn't here. Locked room murder. I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words...
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door. Something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns and arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we could probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden. When the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. Well, I didn't see anyone pop out, but suddenly pop into existence when we broke in, so I think we can cross this one off too. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words...
By that, I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. And you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. In that case, we only have the first type of locked room murder to really look into. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. And answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. I think I've already answered that. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Alright, let's look around a bit, but first let's talk.
What the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. Then technically you don't really know for sure who did it, do you? I mean, I'm not trying to mock your feelings here about the whole thing, but still. I mean, if you're gonna go accusing people, I wish you'd be a little more certain about your answer. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. Did she now? You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon. The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this would never have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Okay, we now got your account of what happened. Still, now that we know that Sakura called all three of them here, we now know why number one, Hina is accusing. Well, number one, we now know why Hina is accusing those three in particular of having been the ones to have done the deed. And number two, we need to talk to all three of them and ask them what happened. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet her with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Okay, then before I talk to Byakuya over there, but for Sakura to have been killed. Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? Well, I could think of several things right off the bat, honestly. Using some kind of weapon to, I don't know, clonk her upside the head or something. But let me look at the Monokuma file again. Why am I looking at the report cards? There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. Well, we could say that going by the Monokuma file, that somebody probably did a strong blow to Sakura's head, and that could have killed her right there. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly, they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Your existence bothers me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. What fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Well, from what... Well, we haven't really seen you today either until this point, so... But that's not but I can't exactly take your word for it on everything, on anything either, because, well, you're you, so... We'll find out if you're telling the truth soon enough. Yakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. I should just take a little picture of myself, make a Polaroid, and then tape it to your forehead, so you won't be able to look at anything but me for all eternity. It's what you deserve. Okay. Thanks. Got your account now. Now, let's look around the room proper. What do we have here? There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room. You notice anything funny about this picture that we're looking at right here? I mean, I pretty much noticed it right off the fucking bat, even the first time I played it. Basically, if this thing was already in here, why is there glass under the can? And I think and if I remember correctly, it wasn't Proteinzyme X, well, yeah, I think that's just a protein thing right there, going by the name. So yeah, question is, what's a protein can doing here in the room on top of the broken glass that we just broke?
So...
It looks like a protein drink. And it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. Well, you're forgetting Hina too. She also liked that protein stuff. Hina, did you drop your protein can by accident? And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. I'm pretty sure we should check out the chemical room up on the 4th floor. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? The glass, both around and under the can? Yes, like I said, I noticed that little detail right off the bat. Shards of light blue glass. There must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter? Well, think about it, Makoto. How would this can have been able to land on... How would glass get under the can if we just broke into this room to get in here to check on Sakura? If the can was already in here, then some of the glass would be on top of the can, not underneath it. So, since that's an impossibility, I think what we should I'm getting tongue twisted. What we should assume is that this can somehow wound up where it is now after we broke into the room. And if that's the case, we gotta ask ourselves, when exactly did this particular can appear in here?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. You're probably right. Important clue. I'm not sure I see how. Don't worry, Mr. Cracker. He'll figure it out eventually. I mean... Forget it. I don't even know why I'm trying to reason with this boy. And to think he wound up in a school called Hope Speak Academy, and yet he doesn't really fill me with much hope half the time. You suck at being a student at Hope Speak, Makoto. You really are just a lottery ticket student. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to my Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon, so roughly an hour ago. Is that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? That same shelf is full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here, and we also have some blood on the floor right there. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Probably because that's where she was attacked and somebody moved the body here. Into that chair, chair that she's in right there. Again, think of this as a locked room murder, Makoto. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And there's 2 missing. Look at the gaps. Also, we are missing some chess pieces. I mean, that in itself was also a clear indicator. Inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how they get those figures inside the bottles? They probably just assembled them inside the bottle, you know, like a ship in a bottle sort of thing.
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You never seen that? Oh yeah. Maybe I have.
in other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I should try that someday. Make an actual ship in a bottle. That might be an interesting challenge. And hey, I just now noticed that detail there. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. And it looks awful lot like those bottles we were just looking at. The glass is all red. And these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Huh? There's someone else on the ground near the glass. Would you look at that? Here's our little Monokuma. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor has been added. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. Monokuma ball sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? Well, that's a reasonable assumption given the current evidence. The shards of glass in the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. And finally, we have this interesting little open locker right here. Huh? The locker's open. And they're on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? Well, probably because someone was hiding in the locker. I mean, the handprints are on the inner side of the door and on the inside of the locker. It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was opened, don't you think? Well, that is impossible, because if you were paying attention to when we were looking through the window originally before we broke into the room where we could see Sakura, the locker was already open. And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah. And the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah. So then, what does this handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Well, I think I've already proposed a theory as to what that glass is. Not that glass, these handprints are. Someone's probably just hiding in there at some point. Or maybe they just really wanted to get out their handprints inside this locker for some freaking reason. So, let's look at this cloth here on the floor. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
That's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Well, yeah. I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jill had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really liked him. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back into my room. Order! I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like him that much, huh?
'Cause, I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get the chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to a true bolt section. Okay, we got that now. All right, time to poke at the body a bit. Poke, poke. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in his chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? Like I said earlier, an internal injury is one cause. Another cause that I could think of right off the bat, going by previous experience I've had with murder mysteries and the like, poison. The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body. Okay, we got that now. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Well, I agree. Otherwise, it wouldn't really have been mentioned. Otherwise, it really wouldn't have been mentioned in the Monokuma file. I'm sure. Oh, wait, the chair. I forgot to look at the chair. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. So how was the killer able to seal up the room then with that chair? In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. So, going by everything that we've seen in the room so far at this point, we've just now found out that there was nothing special done to the chair that could have made it could have been done to made it seal up the room before we got in here. There's no obvious escape routes of any kind. And, well, we didn't see any signs that someone was hidden in here by the time we got into the room. In fact, we pretty much already saw everybody else gathered into this room from the outside after we discovered Sakura's body. And then we looked over the status of Sakura's body. I think we can probably conclude that, well, poison must have been involved, or she bled to death due to some other kind of injury related to a blow to the head, despite Byakuya's insistence otherwise. But I don't think there's anything else in here I can look at. So, I think... Let me look at that. No way, I forgot to look at the door. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window. Which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked room from the inside, not from the outside. But, again, we have a problem here, Makoto. We didn't see anybody in here hiding when we arrived and broke into the room proper. So, that leaves us with two possibilities, honestly. After examining everything in the room. The killer somehow managed to kill Sakura despite not being present in the room, but that wouldn't actually, I guess that would make three possibilities. So anyway, as I was saying, but that wouldn't explain why the chair was set up against the door like it was, if Sakura ended up dying through some kind of internal injury or poisoning or something that was inflicted on her. It really wouldn't make sense for Sakura to really set the chair like this, assuming no one else was in here with her. Whereas if you were the killer, then we move on to possibility number 2, is that they somehow managed to kill Sakura and then escape the room before anybody else could arrive, and lock the room using the chair, but not use any sort of method that looked like obvious tampering. But the question is, how the hell could the killer have done that and also escape the room? Because we just established that the only way out of this room is through this door right here. Which leads me to my final theory here, theory number 3. Sakura killed herself. She just straight up killed herself. But how does that explain the head injuries on her? Well, I can't really tell you yet based on the evidence we have available. Well, actually, yes, I can. Here, I mean, we have the broken Monokuma bottles here, so she probably ended up getting hit with those at some point. But but I don't think that in itself was what killed her, because if it was just a blow to the head, then I feel like I'm about to contradict myself here. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't think a blow to the head in of itself would have necessarily. Well, it could. Well, god damn it! I wish I could remember some of this stuff from forensics and stuff. Like, I'm pretty certain that if you hit somebody in the head in a certain way, it might. No. God damn it, I hate to say it, but I think Byakuya is right. That there's not a chance that Sakura vomiting blood here is in any way related to her head injury. So, yeah. If that's the case, then I think we can simply say that her head injury has a role to play in her death, but may not necessarily be the cause of it. Or otherwise, it could very well be the cause, because with how the Monokuma file is written, she could have very well died in any order, frankly. If poisoning was involved, and that's what ended up causing her to vomit up her blood like that. Like she was already physically weakened, and someone came around and managed to. Nope. God damn it! I'm just going back and forth to theories I've already disproven. So you know what? I'm just gonna shut up. My head is all over the goddamn place today. It's annoying the hell out of me. Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? In this room, yes. Yeah, I think so. For the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided. She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. Yeah, well, you deserve it. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Alright, let's get out of here. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Okay, first up is Toko, because she's closest, I think. Or, sorry, Jill. Well, whoever the hell is present in her head right now. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds... Hey there, Toko.
Who's there?
Yeah, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood. Well, she probably doesn't look like that right now because we ruined what put her in a good mood by ding-donging her door, Makoto. Just saying.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What?
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I believe you. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Ah! I just said 2, didn't I? No, I'm pretty sure you said 3. I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. So you're claiming not to have gone either. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. Help out with the investigation, Toko! With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Okay, I guess I can't force you. Okay, Porcupine Head. Explain yourself. After a few seconds.
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yes. I need a razor. Yeah, actually. I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Ugh. Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. Really, she told you that she asked those other two as well then, huh? What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person. And she happened to mention the others, like in passing. Why would she bother giving you a note asking you to come if she was already in front of you and could have just asked you to come to the rec room anyway? I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura.
You got it all wrong.
No way! I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Because you're stupid. Yeah. Definitely suspicious.
Actually,
Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt, and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. You were acting kind of odd before we took our little nap earlier, too, come to think of it. While you're here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. Well, isn't that just a freaking unfortunate turn of events? With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. When we did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Snatch it, bitch! Huh?
Huh?
Well, that looks awfully familiar.
What?
Ah! Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again. What are you doing with that candy? Last I checked, Hina told me that she hoarded all that stuff and only gave one to Sakura. He shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me... Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but... there's no way that's all there was to it. You're the most suspicious person I've spoken to in this whole investigation thus far, Hiro. I got my eye on you. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? Maybe look in the chem lab? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again. But on top of that, maybe I should find out more about that protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? I think we can go ahead and head back to the crime scene. And save the chem lab for last.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? Okay, I think. I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
I see. So along Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Honestly, I think all of them are lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Hiro for sure definitely is, and well, we've already found out Toko lied to us to our faces, so we know for sure that those two are lying. And Byakuya, well, he's an asshole, therefore I don't believe him. Not the firmest and most logical reasons I can give, I'll admit, but I'm like, well, I really got nothing better to work with right now. Well, I made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look over them one more time. You got any new clues for me?
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Okay, no you don't. You got nothing for me. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Sakura's body isn't just space, Kyoko. How dare you? Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
Whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there's still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then, how can you?
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. Really, Kyoko? Now tell me, what kind of opportunities are we talking about here? What? Sorry, never mind. Could they have something to do with your super special yet unknown special talent?
Hey.
More importantly, look here. It's yellow. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Okay, we got yellow powder.
Hey.
Next is the wounds to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot. So let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. That would coincide with the number of Monokuma bottles that ended up being broken and taken from the shelves. 2 blows.
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's why I learned from examining her body in detail. Kyoko's examination summary, okay. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Be grateful that she did it for you, Mr. Cracker. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine's upside down. Indeed it is. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine, flipped through it. I see Toko! This is... one of the pages. Here's the center of the magazine. A word had been written in blood, bold, bloody letters. I can't read today. And it said, Toko. It's probably, well, if I had to guess, it was probably written using the blood on the floor. Could this be a dying message?
Correct.
But We just learned that Sakura's hands are spotless. There's no trace of blood on them or anything. So she couldn't have written the message with like a finger or something like Sayaka did. Now, unless you're willing to present a special tool that she could have used, which I haven't yet to see, then I think we can safely deduce that maybe someone else wrote that in there. And the question is, who wrote this? Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
So...
Is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. Going by this magazine, if we can assume that somebody wrote that message in there, it wouldn't make sense for Toko to write it in there, because she would just end up implicating herself. Same with Jill, because Toko is basically her other identity. If Toko ends up getting killed, so does she. So that leaves us with two people who could have probably done it. Either Hiro or Byakuya. And yet they both claimed to not have come here to see. They both claimed not to have come here to see Sakura. I have yet to see any hard evidence to indicate that Byakuya was lying about anything. But Hiro, though, well, his entire demeanor ever since even before this whole thing, this whole investigation began, and the fact that he had that little candy wrapper on him, does paint him as our most suspicious suspect right now. But at the very least, I think we can say at this point, Byakuya and Hiro are our two most suspicious suspects. A dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says... Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
What the heck?
Then, she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I won't forgive you.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. Don't jump the gun, lady. That's conclusive evidence, right? Not exactly. I mean, we've kind of had... Did we? I forget. Did we have... I mean, no, I guess we didn't technically have an instance where someone's name being written in blood was... Wait, yes, we did! It was freaking second... It was the freaking second class trial with Chihiro's death. With the whole bloody message on the wall implicating Jill as being the murderer. We already proved that an instance of that wasn't true at all. So no, this isn't conclusive evidence, because we've been let off the scent with something like this before. Anyway, that's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, that makes me that much more suspicious. Okay, that's everything, yeah?
Hey.
Sakura's body shelf and the Monokuma bottles, okay. Let me look at the bottles. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red. And these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? These bottles, not the ones on the floor. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new. Something new.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay attention and you're sure to find it. What, you mean the chess pieces? I've already figured that detail out. A correlation. Hey, Kyoko. Can you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Well, you gotta work back up from the trust that you broke, my friend.
Hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma balls that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? Experiment?
Anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces, too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that? Whoops.
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. That, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is all about, but... what choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So, what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of... what? The pieces of glass you collected, and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? What's the point of that's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced. Indeed it is.
In other words...
Which means each Monokuma ball weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same. Nothing else could really affect the weight.
So then...
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now what might we expect to see? Well, normal assumption would be similar weight. Either they'll balance out, or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
So then...
Okay, then let's give it a try. It's heavier. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? Well, think about it, Makoto. Why are they heavier? If this is just one broken ball we're looking at, why are the broken glass shards and the Monokuma figure both heavier than the intact bottle on the left? Think. Especially keep in mind all the evidence that we've looked over so far. What could this mean? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Then again, you don't even need to look over all the other evidence in order to figure it out. Just as I thought. What?
In other words...
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together.
Hey.
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Okay, we got that. There, I finished examining all things Kyoko mentioned. And, of course, you got nothing for me, huh, Cracker? Okay, then I'll just simply explain it. If 2 Monokuma bottles here on the shelf have approximately the same amount of mass, then they undoubtedly have the same amount of weight, approximately. So, if one set of broken shards and a figure somehow weigh heavier than a perfectly intact bottle, which should theoretically be about the same weight as the broken bottle, what that means is that the broken shards actually have more mass than the intact bottle, thus explaining the increased weight. And if there's more mass, then what that means is there's probably more broken shards on the right side of the scale than would have been necessary in order to reconstruct an entire bottle. So the question you gotta ask yourself, Mikoto, is where did all these extra mass of broken shards came from? I think I can answer that. It came from a second bottle that was broken, as evidenced by the missing second bottle from the shelf, because there was originally 6 here total, and yet we don't see a second figure lying around, which would definitely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt where all the extra mass came from. So the extra glass had to have come from somewhere. I think we can conclude that the reason why there's extra broken glass than a fully intact bottle and only one figure is that, well, maybe somebody took the extra figure. Think about it, Mr. Cracker. You can do it. I still have faith in you, somehow. And I did find some new clues. But when it comes to the locked room puzzle, I'm still totally clueless.
Hey.
It's alright. I try to keep my hope tempered with you. Oh, I just remembered. There was something I wanted to tell you. I saw Byakuya in the chem lab when I went to go get the scale.
Whew.
I didn't want to deal with him, so I took great pains to sneak in and out without him noticing me. Did you sneak in there with a cardboard box? And?
So...
If you haven't checked out the chem lab, you should probably do that, since I couldn't do it myself. You know, the protein can we found at the murder scene must have come from the chem lab. I think you're right. I should probably take a look around that area.
Indeed.
Alright, let's go finally check out that chem lab, shall we? Okay, here it is. It's right in front of me.
What?
So, I've noticed something immediately right off the bat. There's a broken jar of some sort right on the floor, and it looks like there's something yellow that's spilled from it. Something yellow. Just wanted to point that out. Mikoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. You get out of the fucking way! Your presence is making this room ugly. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir. I understand. Could you speak up? I didn't hear you. Seriously, though, this guy just really irks me. Surveillance camera. This isn't my first time seeing the shelf. But I just can't get... But I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. Also, I know some footprints that seem to go all the way, that seem to walk towards shelf A. So somebody seemed to have went over the shelf A here after this bottle had been spilt and broken. So now we gotta ask ourselves, going by this, when was this bottle broken exactly? There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? C4. Looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then, this powder must have been spilt.
So, in other words,
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that's really how, if that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Sources of powder has been added to Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Now let's look at this powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I better not leave a footprint. These are footprints. And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
what?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay, you said chop chop. Let me go find an axe. And I'll chop chop away. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So... how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me...
I see.
So, when you look at it like this... interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No!
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. So feet that is smaller than Makoto's. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately... Well, how about we stick your feet on them next, buddy? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And these prints are a really valuable clue. Should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Looks like someone left footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints in the powder has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. So why don't we take a look at these shelves now? So this bottle came from shelf C. On the shelf is... one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. So in section B is... so on this shelf is... it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What, you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser. Which I suppose suits you well. didn't even say that. I think he's just fishing for any excuses here to just one-up you. Don't pay any attention to him, he's desperate. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about the shelf. Now, finally, let's look at shelf A. Let's see. What's on the shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section A. Let me look at the can. Sure enough, Chem A 2. So this protein bottle definitely came from the shelf. So let's think about this for a second. This bottle of whatever this powder stuff is was spilled around the time of the incident, according to Byakuya. And yet somebody at some point came in here after the bottle was spilled to grab something from this shelf in particular, and then once they were done, they left. And the only thing that we found from shelf A here is that protein bottle that we found in the murder room. And considering how it was placed in the room, I think we can basically say that whoever was that came in here went and got a protein bottle from in here and dropped it into the room after we broke in. That's the only conclusion I could come to based on the evidence. So that just leaves one question: who dropped the bottle? And why? Huh? But wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. And what's this doing here? Did someone have put it here on accident? I should try to find out more about the shelving unit. Looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. What concerns me is that in Section A, there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. Well, remember how I brought forth the possibility that Sakura was poisoned? I think this shelf right here definitely leads some credence to that possibility, if you ask me. Looks like it's time to wrap up our investigation. You're awfully quiet.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I?
No.
Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Is it time already? But we're right in the middle of figuring out this locked room mystery. I'll have to try and tie up all the loose ends at the class trial. No. I absolutely will figure everything out. Well, it's pretty much time. Time for round four with Mr. Death himself. Monokuma made his announcement, and everyone began to meet up, one after another. The ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery!
What?
What the? Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of Emoticons. Didn't we have a moment like this before in one of the last class trials? I think we did. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body. This is just plain creepy.
Well?
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative.
Yes, indeed.
For example, do you have 100 friends?
What?
He's right. That does make it seem sad.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? It was Monokuma being Monokuma. Pay it no mind. I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. Nobody gets anybody. That's the real tragedy of this whole debacle we're in. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me!
I don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean!
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet, someone killed her. And that person is here. That person is one of us. What do you gotta say for yourself,
Don't
Porcupine?
look at me!
I said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't me! We'll determine the validity of that statement in the class trial. The culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
What the heck?
Because I didn't do it! How many times do I have to tell you?
What the heck?
How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Hey,
Standing around here isn't going to do any good. Let's get going. After, I look for coins. Surveillance camera. Just get used to it. No coins. How sad. Come on. It's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator. But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close, and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Got an Egyptian thing going on this time. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really?
This is kind of depressing.
That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not your fault we're all that's left. I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely? Now then, are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. And so, the curtain opened for the 4th time. a deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. Here we go again. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Okay. We got the class trial to look forward to for next time, because I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Danganronpa. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. We will determine who the hell killed Sakura next time. Take care, everybody.